Hello friends of human spaceflight, and welcome to another week in review as we look into the space industry and notable launch activities from around the world. Coming up, SpaceX continued their ever-increasing launch frequency this week with 2 launches from opposite sides of the United States. At the time of recording this episode, there were mission scrubs, so this could go either way. The recent vision of the Starship orbital flight test was not only spectacular for its launch and ultimate destruction, but attention seems to have gravitated to the massive damage left in the wake of the Super Heavy booster. Let's take a look around. After successfully reaching lunar orbit recently, having taken months to arrive to conserve fuel, the Hakuto-R Lunar Lander made its descent to the lunar surface. What happened next is, well, ironic really. Some other quick mentions to come include the UAE and their flyby of Mars's kidney stones, so stick around, there's plenty to cover here. Let's go! After a launch scrub 24 hours earlier, SpaceX were ready to go again on April 27th from Vandenberg Space Force Base on the west coast. Conditions were more launch-friendly despite a thick marine layer as is typical for that region. Somewhere in there is a Falcon 9 with payload fairings holding another 46 Starlink V1.5 satellites. At 6:40 AM local time, Falcon 9 lifted off, powered by the core stage designated B1061 on its 13th flight, having supported Crew 1 and Crew 2 missions in the past, among others. In no time at all, we saw the routine sequence of events of the main engine cut-off, stage separation, and fairing jettison exposing the payload to the vacuum of space. The second stage continued on its merry way, with successful payload deployment later on confirmed by social media.
Meanwhile,
the booster successfully landed 635 kilometers downrange on the autonomous drone ship Of Course I Still Love You, which was stationed in the Pacific Ocean. This marked another successful booster recovery for SpaceX as they continue to develop reusable rockets to reduce the cost of spaceflight. Starlink satellite deployment was later confirmed on social media. This takes the number of active satellites to almost 4,000. SpaceX plans to launch many more in the coming years to further expand the coverage and capabilities of the Starlink network, with version 2 mini satellites already being launched using Falcon 9. Ahead of eventual full-size version 2 deployments using Starship. On April 27th, over on the East Coast, the 6th Falcon Heavy mission was set to launch from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center. Sadly, another scrub due to the weather meant production of this episode dictated we were out of time to show you the actual launch. However, we prepared a little background on the mission for you. The mission has 2 payloads, Viasat-3 Americas and Arcturus, supported by boosters 1052, 1053, and 1068. The Falcon Heavy first stage ascent is powered by a total of 27 Merlin 1B sea level engines. Each engine produces around 845 kilonewtons of thrust at sea level. However, unlike previous missions, this flight was fully expendable with no first stage recovery planned. Instead, all 3 boosters will crash into the ocean.
no, God!
The second stage of the Falcon Heavy, with its single MVAC engine, produces 992 kilonewtons of thrust. It is also equipped with the mission extension kit that allows it to support multiple burns and long coast phases. The total payload mass for this mission is a whopping 6,700 kilograms. The ride-along satellite, Arcturus, weighed only 300 kilograms, and while smaller than its space companion, is still very capable. Arcturus has the ability to provide data throughput up to 7.5 gigabits per second for Alaska and the surrounding region. Astranis Space Technologies built the satellite and will own and operate it. Because Arcturus is so small and lightweight, it has limited onboard propulsion options. This is why Falcon Heavy was chosen, as both payloads were destined for a geostationary Earth orbit. They needed the direct and precise orbital insertion capabilities of this powerful launch vehicle. Viasat-3 Americas is a massive satellite weighing in at 6,400 kilograms or 14,000 pounds. Built by Boeing in California, this is the first of 3 satellites that will make up its constellation. which is expected to serve a wide variety of customers, including individual homes, businesses, and government agencies. The system is capable of accommodating more than 100 megabits per second for users across North and South America. Now, we won't go into the details of the long-awaited Starship integration test flight. Let's just check how SpaceX will mitigate the damage done on their only one orbit launch mount, which became the rapid subject of an unscheduled digging by the mighty Raptors. Elon tweeted that a water-cooled metal plate will cover the ground below the OLM. Parts of it can be seen already. We found some ideas about what it will look like, and we keep our fingers crossed for Starship's next prototypes to fly as soon as possible. iSpace, founded by Takeshi Hakamada in 2010, is a Japanese company focused on developing robots, landers, and rovers to be used on the moon, helping to build a lunar economy. The company was a competitor in the Google Lunar X Prize Challenge. They pursue the dream of a world where the Earth and Moon are one ecosystem. For that, iSpace created a gradual multi-mission plan. Mission 1 with Hakuto-R probe and lander had these objectives: surviving the launch, flying to the moon, going into a circular orbit, finally performing a soft landing and reporting a steady system state on the surface. In Mission 2, they plan to deploy their small rover on the lunar surface for data collection and exploration. Onward from Mission 3, the frequency of the flights would increase, along with a deployed amount of customer payloads as well as their own, and the activity of those on the moon. Mission 1 already carried customer payloads: Rashid, a small rover of the UAE Space Agency, and a transforming robot. Hakuto-R managed to orbit about 100 kilometers over the moon and performed maneuvers there successfully. It even captured the Earth with a moon shadow over Australia during a recent solar eclipse event. Then the actual landing sequence was initiated. The probe decreased its velocity, started to descend, and all was looking really promising right up until the point of landing, or Success 9, when communication with Hakuto-R was lost. Based on the probe's radio carrier signal analysis by radio amateurs, Hakuto-R probably went into a freefall about 6 kilometers above the ground. Possibly ran out of fuel? Even in the low lunar gravity, that results in an impact with about 150 meters per second. Space is hard, and for Mission 1, unfortunately landing was also hard. Though UAE has lost its Rashid rover due to the destruction of Hakuto-R, they did manage to achieve another great success a bit further away from the Earth, at the Red Planet. The United Arab Emirates HOPE space probe has been studying Mars for the past 2 years. Recently though, attention turned to include one of the moons, Deimos. Since January this year, HOPE has made several flybys as close as 100 kilometers, capturing this strange orbital body in greater detail than ever before. Only NASA's Viking probe has come so close, way back in 1977. Sure, there have been other orbital missions to capture images of Deimos, but not like this. Data captured so far of its surface composition has cast doubt on the origins of Deimos. Speculation is it may in fact be a remnant of Mars itself, with a larger impact responsible for ejecting chunks of Mars into space, where it was captured and ultimately orbits the planet. Similar to the popular Earth-Moon theory. With Deimos having a surface similar to Phobos, could there be more interesting revelations to come from high above the dusty red planet? Speaking of dusty, Perseverance made a photo of Ginny and it's covered with dust. In return, the Mars helicopter also made a picture of Percy from above. Completing over 50 flights, Ginny provided valuable experiences of flying on Mars. Based on this, the samples gathered by Perseverance will be collected by new, bigger Mars sample recovery helicopters. Congratulations to the JPL team for developing such a great and long-lasting helicopter, and to Rocket Lab too for providing the solar panels feeding Ginny. Well, that's a wrap on another great week of space activities. We look forward to bringing you the latest developments in space news next week, and some fun along the way. Thanks for watching, and remember, onwards to the future.